Hey guys, it's GirlGotGame. Welcome back to The Letter, where we are rapidly running out of options to keep our characters alive. We've seen pretty much all the good stuff we're going to see. So, this time around, I'm gonna keep them alive, but they are not going to like each other very much. That's the plan. I mean, we've kind of seen what that does to Luke and Hannah already, so not much is going to change there. But I'm curious what will happen with the other characters. Don't know how long this will take, but we're going to try it anyway. And let's start a new game and see what scary thing starts this one. Cat. Very loud noise, but it was just a cat. So it's fine. It'll be fine. Okay, time to make everybody upset with us. And see some other options that we've not seen before. You're not my mom, Bex. Alright, starting the train a-rolling. I press my lips together and roll my eyes at her. I'm not entirely sure how I should feel whenever she goes on her mother hen mode. She means well. I'm glad someone's looking out for me, especially with my family living on the other side of the globe. But Becca's bossy attitude can be such a pain at times. She's more overbearing than Mama, and that already says a lot.
You're not my mom!
I didn't say I am.
Nope, but you're acting like one. You don't need to boss me around all the time.
She gives me a completely unimpressed look. Immediately, I brace myself for another round of reprimands from her.
I'm not bossing you around. I'm just telling you to at least mind what you're eating. Remember what happened last year? You ended up bedridden for 2 weeks after eating something bad, and I ended up having to listen to you cry about how those absences would take a huge chunk out of your paycheck.
Ouch.
Do you want that to happen again?
No, Mom.
Only a loud, frustrated sigh comes from her while she pinches the bridge of her nose, likely to help ease a headache starting to form. I bite my lip to keep myself from laughing out loud at the image she makes, expecting her to say more. But when at last she looks up, she's simply carrying a resigned expression on her face.
I'm serious.
Not my mom, Rebecca.
Maria Isabella Grace.
You're not helping your case here, Becca. Becca. I was gonna call her Bex, and then I just gave up halfway through. I shut my mouth after that. Although I know she's not really angry, I don't want to push it. An angry Becca isn't someone I'd like to cross paths with in my lifetime. I've seen it happen, and it wasn't pretty.
Yeah, I'll stop.
I grumble, but she doesn't seem to care much, only giving me a small acknowledging nod.
Good. Look, if you need anything, tell me and I'll help in any way I can. You don't have to do this alone.
Thanks, Becca. I really appreciate it, but you don't need to keep babying me. You've been taking care of me since after I moved here. You have to take a break sometime. And before you ask again, no. You know I'm not a fan of borrowing money. And I'm not going to ask you to give me what you earned hard for yourself.
You and your pride. But suit yourself. The offer stays on the table, though.
I nod in response, if only to get her to drop the topic. But I'm pretty certain I will never take that offer. Ever. Okay, I think we're back around. Yes, we are back around. Okay, saw some new things. Going to see some scary things. Unless I keep my eyes closed. Maybe I will. There's no more QTEs in my future. Nope, nope, nope. Dunzo. I will pray, though. I'll spare Bella for a little while. She'll be okay. Do I have to click through this? I think so. Boop. My opening's still broken, sad face. Oh well, what can you do? Alright, Marianne. I don't know.
We're sorry, ma'am. We don't really know what's going on here.
Not very professional. She's not amused.
If it's okay, maybe we can...
Aren't you the ones in charge here? How can you not know what's going on here?
You see, Miss McCullough, right now the house is...
Amazing how she can keep her voice level, yet still convey utter displeasure with it. I've dealt with people acting the opposite before, and if I were to choose, it's much easier to handle clients who talk your ear off when angry. People like her are the hardest to read. Beside me, I shoot Rose a pleading look. She returns it with a glare before taking the reins from me and attempting to smooth out the situation. There's a promise in it that we will be talking about this later. I am not looking forward to that at all. What can I do? She can deal with this better than me. Who knows what might come out of my mouth if I handle this on my own.
We're really sorry, ma'am. My partner's probably still a bit winded from her fall.
If she's unwell, then she shouldn't be working here right now.
She raises a hand to rub the side of her temple as if to stave off the beginnings of a headache. Bella's just giving everyone headaches.
Never mind that. I just want to know what's going on here.
I thought my client already owns this house and my services are needed.
Wow, that was a complete rewrite of that.
Perhaps there's been a confusion then. We haven't heard anything from our supervisors regarding a closed deal for this property yet. In fact, today's only the first day of our open house. If you wish, we can call them and confirm for you.
That wouldn't be necessary, but thank you for being direct with me, Miss Cooper. I already thought something was a little odd earlier. If you'll excuse me, I need to talk to my secretary.
Okay, you keep rewriting lines, Marianne. With a slight wave of her hand, she leaves us. That seems to be the end of it. Both Rose and I breathe a sigh of relief. Disaster averted. Still, I've already prepared myself to dial the number to our Luxburn office and check, even if she didn't ask for it. I will be very frustrated if, for some reason, something has already been decided without my or Rose's knowledge. That's a whole new level of unfair. We've been working hard on this. Okay, I think we're back. We're back. Blood. It's fine.
Mom, you haven't finalized anything with an agent yet.
You lied to me, Mom. How could you? Let's see. She insisted on working. Did anything? I don't think anything changed. That's fine. We're good.
I would really advise against making plans this early when...
Never mind that. It isn't going to be a problem. We've got a wonderful legal team to handle everything. Start taking notes, though. I think I've got a few things I want changed before we move in.
Okay. I should be having a moment. Yeah, I'm like... Before, Marianne was kind of nice towards us, but I don't think she will be this time. I can't help but send an imploring look at Miss McCullough, who only looks away with a sigh.
Yeah. I can give you a fact sheet and a form to fill out.
Okay. You can look at that. Okay. Now, this is the only choice that I'm not going to pick, even though it gives negative affection. So I'm going to pick what I've normally picked, because if you show the letter to Rose, that plays into the ending for Hannah's death, which I don't want to happen. Not yet. That'll be for next time. So yeah, I've got good information on that. I trust my sources, so I'm going to not show the letter.
Rose,
Okay, so we're back up with Marianne, but that's okay. We'll have more opportunities with Marianne later. I need to avoid that for right now. Okay, so I think I need to lie to you this time. Yep. I turn my eyes back to the passing view outside. Maybe if I remain quiet long enough, he'll get a hint?
Seriously, what happened?
you're already assuming something happened.
I'm not. It's what you said earlier, and that's why I'm asking. What did they do?
They didn't do anything, all right? It's nothing. Work's just been stressful. My boss has been in a bad mood lately over a lost sale. Preparing everything for the open house has been tiring. And then there's the tour. You've seen how big the place is.
I wish he'd just drop the subject and be done with it. It's not like he'll do something if I tell him. Alright, are we good? No, not yet. Outside, the sun has already started its descent, casting a vibrant orange glow on the tall buildings. I wonder how long before we reach the movie house. Zach's been pretty excited about his movie. I'd hate to ruin that for him. Haha. But right now, I just want the day to be over.
Just so you know, people we interrogate often avoid our eyes when they're hiding something.
Oi, is this an interrogation?
I'm not hiding anything!
I didn't say you were.
Then why are you still asking about it?
Your face is a lot more expressive than you think.
Can you please just drop it?
That's a very expressive face. My voice comes out harsher than I've intended, and I immediately regret having taken that tone on him. As one would expect, Ash is taken aback but recovers quickly. An uncomfortable silence settles in the car, while I find myself wishing I hadn't snapped at him like that. Stupid, 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 Isabella! It's the first time in months you get to spend time with your friends, and you're already messing things up.
Sorry, I didn't mean to yell.
He responds with nothing more than a nod, and I take that as his way of dropping the topic. For now. If the way his jaw tightens is a sign of what he still thinks about the matter. I just hope I can give him a proper answer next time. Alright, well, trouble in paradise. Okay. So, I'm gonna make somebody upset no matter what here, but I haven't started making Zachary upset, so I'm going to go home. Man, Rebecca really likes when we go home. And we lost some more affection with two people. We've seen this before, so I can skip. Skip, skip, skip. Talk to Mama. What happens next? Okay, we sell the place. Oh, we go out for lunch? I get to say something really mean here. Good, good. Okay. This one.
Okay, let me do that again.
Okay, we're breaking even with Becca.
We should celebrate because Ash Hole is totally missing out on my first treat ever.
I'm sure Ash has his reasons.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't even apologized for calling me a scaredy cat yesterday.
He was trying to call you forever through the movie, Isabella. A half-hearted complaint without any meaning to it. Done more out of habit than with any real malice or hatred to it. After all the times he's called me a scaredy cat, the word itself has completely lost its meaning. Imagine that! There's disappointment, of course, in knowing he's off who knows where while we're having fun here. Sheesh, don't just disappear off the face of the planet without telling anyone.
You aren't really upset about that, are you?
No, not really. But it's his loss for missing this once-in-a-century event.
He did seem to be in a hurry when we parted last night after the movie. Said he got a big lead on his case.
We never had the chance to talk much yesterday.
Ouch.
But you know how he is about his work. Everything except his unholy love for bad puns is a secret.
He never mentioned those to me.
The puns?
I ain't surprised. He's more tight-lipped with this one. Something about it being bigger than what they usually let him handle.
Don't worry, Becca. I'll make him talk.
Huh.
It's not necessary. He'll talk when he wants. And if what Zach says is true, it's better if we keep our noses out of this. His job isn't exactly a walk in the park. We'll only get in the way if we pester him about it.
Well, he better treat us to something other than ice cream once he solves that one. That's Scrooge.
But that's not really why you asked us out, right?
She gestures at our food with her hand as though it's something she's not willing to touch until I give her answers.
I promised I'd treat you to a free lunch if the mansion got sold, yeah?
Oh.
You should have just told us. No need for all this fancy, secrety stuff.
Okay. I didn't realize there was still more. Understanding dawns on her face. The bewildered look she's been sporting changes into something close to delight.
It was supposed to be a surprise. I made a promise, didn't I?
I wasn't expecting you'd really do it.
Well, it's already here. If you don't want to eat it, I'll just...
I begin to gather their plates to my side, the food in each still untouched. Zach's like, my food! Okay. A laugh almost escapes my mouth with the way Zach's expression quickly changes to disappointment. Becca's hand interrupts me just as I'm about to pull her plate closer to me.
No, please, leave it, ma'am. We're simply humbled by your utmost utmost generosity, considering you're as much of a Scrooge as Ashton.
Oof.
Don't compare me to him. He's the one who looks like he's about to have an episode whenever he has to spend more than £5.
I honestly wish there's a way for you to see the look on your face when you haggle. Remind me to record it once.
It was Ash who asked Bella to teach him how to haggle, right?
I think it's something like this.
Very intimidating. She puffs her cheeks and furrows her eyebrows in an imitation of how I supposedly appear. I don't look like that at all. Do I? She drops the act at the flat look I shoot her. Her laughter dies, but the playful gleam in her eyes remains.
This means you're gonna be okay now, yeah?
For a while. It just means we won't have to worry about paying for the treatment and the bills. But that's all that matters, right? I mean, we're not yet sure if the new medication will produce better results, but Mama and the doctor said Papa's responding well to the treatment. That's one reason to be hopeful. And with the money, I'm sure it's just a matter of time.
Saying it this way sounds as if I'm trying to convince myself. But no matter what, I allow myself to smile, genuine and uninhibited. It's strange talking about this with other people, even those who have known you long enough. But today, things simply feel a whole lot lighter with them here. Lunch passes in an enjoyable fashion. That's nice. I'm glad you're having a good lunch. It was nice that she kind of expounded on her dad to them, and the treatment, and what the money's going for. That was a nice little change. Okay. A pleasant lunch. What's the point?
Don't bother.
Alright.
Are you going to tell me about it?
Does it matter?
It does. I think so, yeah? How do you expect people to listen to you if you keep avoiding questions?
I'm not asking you to listen to me right now, am I?
Now you're just being a child.
Oh no, here we go again.
I'm 26. You're the one who came here to bring me food I didn't ask for. You're not even eating it yourself. And it doesn't even taste that good. It's too spicy. I bet you don't even like it. And...
My heart's pounding hard against my ribs. My breathing has also grown erratic. The sheets of my bed creases under my tight grip. I didn't mean to yell, especially at her. It just came out. Yet it feels oddly satisfying to do so. Becca's smiling knowingly at me when I look at her. Only then does it register what she has been trying to do.
Are you done?
Evil.
You're an awful friend.
Agreed. She laughs, softly yet unrestrained. It isn't mocking, but one that brings a sense of familiarity in it. And it does the job of lightening up the mood.
Feeling better?
Not entirely, but thanks. I'm being petty, aren't I?
We both are. Figures why we're friends, right?
There may be some truth to that.
So, are you going to tell me about it?
What's the point?
Isabella, the point is...
Yesterday! I spoke about it yesterday, didn't I? But nobody believed me. I kept repeating and repeating and repeating myself, but none of you took my word for it.
Because none of it sounds realistic.
Yet you're here asking about it. What do you really want?
Because I need to know where you're coming from.
We fall silent. Both of us coming to the same realization that we're going nowhere if we keep shouting at each other like this. With a sigh, Becca reaches for the letter on the table. She inspects it in the same manner one does with something fragile, holding it with all the care in the world. Her stare lingers on the message printed on it. Something pensive sets in her face as she reads the lines over and over again. I want to stop her, take the paper away from her hands, hide it. But it's too late now, isn't it? Yesterday's and today's argument was my own doing. That more than not being believed, I'm running away from the guilt. From the idea that I've put my own friends in danger. That I'm afraid to do anything about it. I'm using my own anger to hide my own fears about myself. I'm a coward.
Tell me. Everything. Don't leave anything out, you hear me?
I hesitate. Becca's far from a person who'd believe in such things, yet...
You really want to hear it?
You really? She nods. I'll tell her everything. Okay, I think I said I'm glad you're here a first time?
Thank you, Becca. You can bring your work here if you want.
Oh, we still got positive affection with her. Interesting.
No thanks. My brain needs a break too. In any case, I won't be able to function properly here.
Don't say that with that look on your face. She gestures at my room. At the clutter, specifically, like it has offended her. It probably did.
How can you work in this place?
I just do. Hey, I don't say anything about your room.
Truth.
That's because it's clean. Of course there's nothing else for you to comment on.
It's too clean.
Hey, I clean too. Once a week. Or month?
We continue like this for the rest of the night, with mundane and nonsensical talk about anything our minds could think of over food long left cold. To an outsider, it might sound uninteresting. Boring, even. But to us, it's good enough. Okay, so she didn't hold us that time, which is interesting. As we lay down to sleep. Okay. Some interesting changes. Ah,
I'm sorry. Did my cat hurt you?
interesting. Yeah, we gotta ask about your cat. Alright, looking up.
Oh, it's you.
Oh, ow! That's hurtful.
Nice to meet you again, Miss McCullough.
Were you harmed in any way? I'm sorry. Veruthiel's not exactly fond of other people. Even run away from the veterinarian right now.
Oh no, he was just sniffing my hand earlier.
My Veruthiel's a she.
She? Let's talk about her. Nope. That was a bad move. I keep my tone cordial and warm.
I'm actually surprised you have a cat, Miss McCullough.
And why exactly is that? There are a lot of people who have pets.
Yeah, but not a black one. I'm amazed you're taking care of one.
I don't understand what you're trying to get at. Is there a problem with my cat?
Yeah, it's a black cat.
No, not at all. She's very sweet. Just in other cultures, aren't they a sign of bad luck?
Back at home it is. My grandmother used to tell me stories about it, and
Nothing has happened to me so far.
displeasure is evident on her face. Ah, of course. I've forgotten that for other people, black cats are an omen of good luck. There you go again, running your mouth off, Isabella. I rack my brain for a way to remedy the situation, but she holds out a hand.
This is a good place to stop and end this conversation, don't you think so?
Ouch.
It is good to see you again, Santos.
Thanks. A complete dismissal if I've ever heard one. Well, that could have gone better. I watch her as she leaves, though she stops shortly before crossing the threshold separating the park and the street. Are you gonna bring up the girl? Okay, you were going to try, but then gave up. I think Rose is gone now. Yes, Rose is gone. Alright, so we left. Rose is found dead. And we need to make sure we go to work still. It's not time for you to die just yet, Isabella. Not yet. What? But I turned off the QTEs. I can just skip. Pardon? Hold on. I was not expect. I had turned this off. I probably didn't click apply. Well, I'm glad I closed my eyes the first QTE one, because I would have been freaking out with her shambling towards me again. I'm like, but hold on. Hold the phone. I specifically turned this off. The game's like, but don't you want to play some more QTEs, though? Remember how much fun we had with the QTEs? Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm gonna just be quiet over here, if you don't mind. Let's just keep on keeping on. Most of this will not change, since we've done basically all the negative stuff we could with Hana. But I can basically do this in my sleep. Do I need a meeting? Marianne. Poor Marianne, just making her upset with everybody. Oh gosh, I just had a horrible realization. I'm gonna have to sleep with Luke. Huh. Well, that revelation hit me like a lightning bolt. I'm like, wait a minute. Speaking of Marianne, things that this guy doesn't like. Sleeping with him, apparently. Well, that's gonna be interesting, isn't it? That'll be a change. Talk about your change of pace. Huh. Uh-huh. Alright, well. Jolly good then. Have I done this before? I don't think I've actually done this before. That's a big drop. I think I would have remembered that drop. I don't think I've done this before. This is who I am, and I am not going to tone myself down for somebody else by skip. Yeah, no, I have not done this. Interesting. I didn't want to hurt poor Zachary. I have no obligation to do so. At any rate, he is rather cute, and it is a bit fun seeing him squirm. What's the worst that can happen? I doubt it will be anything bad, considering how much of a gentleman he is.
Oh, stop doing what, Zach, sweetie?
Touching my arm and looking at me like that.
Poor Zach. I paused, giving him a baffled look. This is certainly the first time a man has ever complained about me being too friendly.
I'm not doing anything wrong. Come on now, don't be like that. It's just a bit of fun.
A bit of harmless fun.
I'm sorry. It's just really uncomfortable and I don't think either of us want Mr. Right to see us and think there's any funny business. I'm sorry. Look, can we just... We're finished with the interview already, aren't we? Maybe it's about time I go.
Oh, you must be joking.
No, I'm not.
Zach is best boy.
You're certainly the odd one.
No, he's best boy.
Don't be such a killjoy. A little bit of flirting never hurt anyone. Other men would simply be delighted by my interest in them. Besides, you really are such a cutie.
Well, I'm not them, Hannah. So, yeah, I'm probably odd.
I don't understand you.
Let me put it this way. You're a pretty lady, so this must have happened to you at least once or twice.
Uh-oh.
How would you feel if someone was making you uncomfortable? Only for them to refuse when you ask them to stop and they make you out to be the one that's wrong?
This isn't. This isn't the same as that.
As I try to argue his point, he starts to pack the rest of his bags. This is preposterous. My main argument is, what sort of man complains about a beautiful woman being friendly with them? This guy. It seems logical in my head, but the moment I try to say it, it starts to fall apart.
Yes, it is. Unwanted advances don't make me feel macho or anything like that. I'm not here to argue morals or ethics, Miss Wright. I think I have more than enough for the interview, if that's fine with you. I may be starting to overstay my welcome.
I feel deflated. And things were going so smoothly, too. I ended up pushing too hard, just when I might have found myself a good friend. I'm not sure if I feel awful because I'm not getting what I want, or because I was just compared to the pigs I so despise.
You're not even going to let me apologize.
You're not a bad person, Hannah. Just...
Because I really am sorry.
People won't always be how you want them to be. And apology accepted. But I really do need to go. A friend of mine is expecting me and it's getting late.
Will you visit again? I will be asking for copies of those photographs.
Yeah, sure. I'll make you a copy.
That would be much appreciated. I'll ask Johans to see you out.
I feel sick to my stomach as I watch Zachary leave. It is silly to be upset over a falling out with a man who was only a few hours ago a complete stranger to me. That doesn't excuse my boorish behavior at all, and it doesn't make the ill feeling any better. Idling about, I stare off into space, unsure of how I feel. And I stay a good while, just standing there until the sun sets in the horizon. Disheartened, I proceed back into the mansion for supper. Wow. That was a rough one. Yeah, too personal. I was with Zachary.
I was talking with Zachary, the photographer for Luxury Living.
Yeah, he shut me down real quick, because he is a gentleman. Okay. Do not open the hatch. Whatever you do, do not. Pass go. Do not. I don't know, Marianne.
I don't know, Marianne.
Just don't know. I've done this before, and I didn't lose any affection with you, but I didn't gain any either. So that's the main point of this. Okay. Rochelle time. Gotta go have a break again. Alright. Things are going well. I still gotta spend time with you.
At least you can cook. Allegedly.
Okay. No more affection lost, but none gained. As it should be. Okay. Alright, QTE was skipped, as it should be. Proper like, thank you very much. Okay, hey Bella. I'm not gonna tell you anything this time. If that's okay with you. Alright. Got that. Got that. And got that. And Zach. There we go. Play it off.
Oh. What? This?
What? Ooh? Eh? Nah. The pills rattle against the container when I shake it casually in front of her.
They're nothing to worry about. They're just vitamins. Vitamins, Bella.
Ah, vitamins.
You know, the usual maintenance stuff. Can't be too careful these days, especially with how erratic the weather has been lately. Actually, I did come down with something last week. Forgot to tell you guys about it. Got me a little worried I wouldn't be able to make it in my own movie premiere. Good thing the virus or whatever it is left days before we're supposed to meet, huh? Although I think it's decided to come back for another round.
Zach, you aren't really sick, are you?
Well, there goes that excuse.
You're the nicest guy I know around, but you're an even worse liar than I am. I understand it's not a habit, but even I can tell when something's bothering you.
You have no idea how many times I've been told that.
She shifts her attention to her hand, to fingers clasped firmly together at the hem of her shirt. Instead of the usual grin I'm expecting from her, she draws a frown, her lips pressing tightly together in a slight grimace. Seems like she wants to ask more, beyond what I'm willing to tell, but simply can't phrase it. I can't tell if this sudden, inquisitive, curious nature, has been a part of her from the start, or she has merely spent too much time around Rebecca and Ash. When she looks up, however, the question doesn't come. There's only a smile too reassuring to be genuine on her face.
Can you tell me one thing at least? About this, and that thing when we ate lunch the other day? It isn't just about what happened to your movie now anymore, is it?
No. No, it ain't. That was never it in the first place.
Just a simple statement of the fact. This much I can't answer with all honesty. She nods then, her conflicted expression melting into something more pensive. This is her concession.
I understand. I'm sorry if that came off a bit pushy.
I appreciate it. I really do, Bella. There's some things that are harder to talk about. Even with longtime friends.
I get you, or at least I think I do. I'm not going to pretend I could help and tell you it's gonna be okay. I know it's never that easy. But I'm here for you if you need someone to listen, Zach. You know that, right?
I could say the same thing about you. I'm here for you if you want to tell me about what happened yesterday. You were pretty shaken.
A laughter, almost bitter and likely a little harsh, slips out from me. Completely unintentional on my part, perhaps even the medication talking, but the words have already been said, the damage done, leaving only enough room for regret. Still, she doesn't flinch. Only looks a bit torn, with her mouth opening and closing in silent indecision. In the end, she settles for a deep breath, the release slow and steady as of letting out the heaviness weighing on her. When she looks up at me, something, a small, unfamiliar, barely noticeable thing slips by. As for what, it's impossible for me to tell.
I'll tell you. I promise I'll tell you. But not right now. Not when I need to make sure of something first. Please understand. Ever since I came here, other people, you guys, have always been helping me. You, Ash, Becca, even the job I have. I only got it because my aunt helped. I don't want to repay any of that kindness by dragging other people into more trouble than necessary. I just want to try and fix this myself.
I should be happy. There should be pride in that despite the problem, she has found herself a stable ground to stand on. But somehow, this time I find myself worrying instead. I'll make another attempt to get the story out of her if I can. But this is a dance I know all too well, and with her, I doubt forcing her to say something would yield any results. Because we're kind of similar in that situation. Okay. No ham for either of you this time. Get out. Okay, so this is a bit different. Isabella saw Zachary taking an unknown medicine and, concerned, asked what it is for. Not yet ready to reveal his painful past, Zachary played it off, saying they're just vitamins. Isabella didn't believe him, but didn't push the matter further. To lighten the mood, the two decided to cook breakfast afterwards.
It's okay. I know you're busy.
Okay, lost some more affection with both of you. After all, handling organized crime cases ain't exactly what one can call an easy job. It's understandable. The lack of time, his undeterred focus on his work. This has been a goal for him, I was told long ago. A childhood dream of sorts. Although I admit the disappointment is there. A small part of my person is looking forward to spending time with what few friends I have. This is something they wouldn't be able to give at the moment. We've each got our own lives to live.
Sorry about this, Zach. I should have come earlier, but you know how things go back there when shit hits the fan. It becomes messy.
Messy.
It happens sometimes. Now, I do have spare containers with me here, though. At least bring some of what we cooked with you. I wouldn't be able to eat all of it alone anyway. It'd just be a waste. There's even enough here for Rebecca.
Nice.
I don't have to go with him, though. I can stay. I'll just go home later. Catch a bus or something.
I answer her offer with a small smile of my own. Does she realize that unconsciously, in her own little way, she's taken it upon herself to look after the people surrounding her? Like her own family in place of... No. Never in place, but an extension of what she has miles away.
Nah, it's cool. I need to be off somewhere soon. So, it's a good thing Ash arrived when he did. At least that way you won't be alone.
In the company of another person, she'll be safer. From her thoughts, from her own self.
If you insist. And thanks for letting me stay the night.
Hey, no problem. But you should really call if you want to drop by next time. I could be out.
I don't plan to make a habit out of it, but I'll keep that in mind.
Let me just pack this up for you two, alright? It'll just be a minute.
Each right, 11 a.m.
Stop snooping, Mr. Detective. My hand pauses short of pulling one of the many empty food containers off the cupboard. Ash has taken off the post-it note I've recently stuck to the refrigerator door. Although, from this angle, it appears more like the note itself has done him a world of wrong, and now he's glaring at it more than reading it.
Oh yeah, I got that one a few days ago. They wanted magazine features of the new home. Ermin, something. The same one Isabella sold.
Wow, they sure don't waste any time. I was just finalizing their papers for final approval last night.
You sure about this?
Nah, I've had worse. Also, it pays a lot for one-time work. Can't exactly complain when it's like that. Why?
He doesn't comment on it further. He simply sticks the note back in its place among the mess of papers and receipts on the fridge, and casually stuffs both his hands on his pockets. His eyebrows, however, are drawn together in a small frown. Ash may not say anything on it, but I'm quite sure there's something in his mind he simply can't voice out, likely due to present company. He stays wholly silent after. Packing for 3 people doesn't take long, and all too soon I'm leading the 2 of them out the doorway. A small paper bag swings in Isabella's hand when she makes her way out, giving me a casual wave as she takes the flight of steps down ahead of her companion. Ash, however, lags behind.
Go on, you can tell me.
I'm sure you know what you're getting into, but try not to get too involved with that couple.
Relax. I doubt they'll even remember me after this. I'm just a photographer passing by, nothing more. Though it'd be nice to get a regular client. Easy on the pockets, of course.
Find some other one after this. Not them. Never them. Luxborn's big enough.
Never.
Okay, if it'll make you feel better.
He doesn't look completely convinced by my answer, but he nods nevertheless and claps a hand on my shoulder on his way out. Good talk, Ashton. Good talk. Look at all that ham and scalloped potatoes. Ashton arrived to fetch Isabella hours later, but she didn't want to leave after all the food they prepared. After a few reassurances, Zachary convinced her to come with Ashton. A brief talk about the rights and Zach's upcoming gig occurred before the detective departs. A mild draft sweeps into the room as I close the door behind him, slightly disturbing the papers on the nearby fridge. A lone note flutters by my feet, the letters on the surface glaring at me with mute intensity. Ermengarde Mansion, H. Wright, 11 a.m. After Ashton's warnings, they all hold a different meaning now. Yes. A bit too forward for a married woman, maybe, but not as bad as what's on the tabloids. Not that I ever read those. But Ashton would give me flack for just staring at one. Rubbish, he called them once. I think he's just pissed because they often put the local police in a bad light. Although, with a life as public as the Wrights, no wonder it's the woman who often gets the crappy end of the stick. I can't help but feel sorry for her. She's a real nice person when given the chance. Okay. Well, some stuff changed. She was nice enough to ask, after all, and was a good companion up until the awkward turn our little chit-chat has taken. Even if she didn't ask, I would have probably given her a few prints just for the hell of it. It ain't so bad. Not so bad. Alright. How are we doing? I know we've lost a lot with Hannah already, but we're not going to see her much. But Zach and Ash are going to interact some more. Do I show the pictures to Hannah or Ashton? I'll get opportunities to lower affection either way. Let's go see Hannah. I'm curious what her reaction will be when we show her the stuff. I'm a photographer.
I'm with Luxury Living, sir.
Okay. He eyes the business card I hand him with a completely passive expression. He turns it between his fingers without really reading the letters printed before handing it back in the same blasé manner one usually reserves for people below their station. Or a nuisance. With him it seems more the latter than the former.
Mr. Steele.
Just Zach would do, sir.
I can see why. You should hear what they say about my name. Although I'm of the opinion those don't sound as unpleasant as yours to the ear.
Okay.
Amusing what people can come up with in their leisure time, no? Well then, to what reason do we owe this second visit, Zach?
Right. Like I said earlier, I'm the photographer from Luxury Living. I'm here about the photo shoot yesterday and...
His eyes narrow at that, mouth tightening into a small frown, passive stance dissolving into a rigid one. It ain't a complete lie, what I came here for. But it ain't the whole truth, either.
Didn't you already wrap that one up? I believe my wife was the one with you then. Even mentioned a little tete-a-tete with the photographer.
Mm-hmm.
That was you, wasn't it?
Yes. Actually,
Yes.
sir, there was something I forgot to discuss with your...
And you had to show up at such an hour for something you forgot. Why wasn't there any notice about this little visit?
It was an error on my part, sir. I do apologize for not letting you know in advance.
Terribly unprofessional for someone going under the name of an esteemed publication like Luxury Living, if you ask me. Of course, even if there was a word of some sort, that butler does not check my emails as often as I would have liked. But straight up walking in here this early isn't the most sensible thing to do either.
The matter was a bit urgent, and my art director wanted it done as soon as possible before I hand him the finished prints.
Not my problem now, is it? A common courtesy would be to wait for replies before barging in. You do well to remember that. I once fired someone before they could even submit an application. Sent an email in the morning and suddenly sauntered in the office looking knackered mere hours after. Bloody walk-ins. That aside, unfortunately, you're going to have to come back some other day. You see, darling wife left not a moment ago.
Liar.
I have not an inkling where she went, or when she'll be back, so you're better off.
Love is at the movers.
Da-da-da-dum, ba-da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-da-da. Right. I think I said that one looks cute. There's an angry boy. Alright.
My sister just had a baby, you know.
She tears her attention away from the window and looks at me with an incredulous expression on her face. That is an incredulous expression. Like I just asked her to drive off a cliff. She relaxes eventually, but I can't get that image of her like that off my head. I hope I didn't say anything to offend.
Oh, what brought this on?
Nothing. It's just a thought. She gave birth a few weeks ago.
I suppose a congratulations is in order then.
Thanks. I'll let her know. Do you think a crib would make a good gift?
I'm sure she'd love that if she doesn't have one yet. Otherwise, maybe clothes. Or things she can use to care for the baby.
Good suggestions.
You realize I'm the last person you should be asking about this, yes?
Oh, it's her first baby, don't you worry. I haven't bought a gift yet since I'm kinda new to this too, you know? The whole being an uncle thing. For a long time, it's just been me, sis, and my grandparents. Now there's a little person who came into this world as part of the family.
A little person.
Who'd have thought, huh?
Please don't tell me you're jealous.
Oh, of course not. It's, but I gotta admit, the very idea takes a lot of getting used to, and, you know, scary stuff like what if I drop her or end up teaching her something bad, or I just can't stop making her cry, or...
Oh, Zach. Something warm presses against my arm, gentle as it can be, which stops the rest of my words from coming out. Her hand, I realize belatedly. When I look to her, there's nothing but warmth in her smile. She's been doing that a lot in the past few hours, and I can't help but return it to her.
Zach, sweetie. Stop. You're panicking. It's going to be fine.
I don't know, Hannah. Maybe I'm not cut out to be a good uncle.
Don't be silly. You'll probably be the best one there is. Might even make a good father when the time comes.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever you choose to be with will be lucky to have someone like you, I'm sure.
At this, her expression softens, sadness flitting into her eyes for a little while before she looks away.
I'm the one who's worried if I'll ever make a good mother. Luke doesn't seem to even want one of our own. How pitiful is that? 7 years and we're still at this point. I don't even know what to call it anymore. Now I'm carrying this other life with me while the father doesn't want anything to do with it. What am I going to do, Zach? Because right now I'm absolutely at a loss.
Oh.
Oh. A beat.
Oh.
The realization strikes me like a ton of bricks suddenly bearing down on me. More than astonishment must have shown in my face, because Hana lets out a chuckle. The slump on her shoulders disappears altogether underneath her mirth.
Don't look so surprised, dearie. Tied the knot 7 years ago, remember?
Okay, I think we're back. We are back. Well, I don't know about any of that, but you can look at these pictures.
I think it would be better if you take a look at these yourself.
Pretty as a picture. Whoa, it's gone. Anything we had with Hana is just gone. Vanished. Seeing is believing, right? I reach into my pocket and pull out the photos, handing everything to her. Recognition flickers across her eyes when she reaches for them, and I have to stamp down the tiny twinge of regret in my stomach for having the gall to show it to her. Only it cuts deeper the instant both her and Miss McCullough's expression changes. And it's not a good look. To say she's repulsed would be a total understatement. All this time, Hana has been nothing but direct. Saying what she feels, expressing what she wants. Away from the glamour and the camera lenses, she's a whole different person. But as she goes through each of the pictures, I can't get an easy read on her.
Zach, dearie, what is this?
Your photos. The ones you requested copies of. I mean, they came out that way, and I thought you should know.
Oh, I get it. You know, I've heard before that artists can be a bit weird.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Have you ever gotten that kind of comment, Marianne?
Not in my line of work, I'm afraid. Or ever, Mrs. Wright. I'd rather keep my personal hobbies away from my actual work. Less stress that way.
Well, I suppose it just never crossed my mind that the saying applies to you as well, Zach. But talent's what's important, hmm? As long as you make good art, it doesn't matter.
Oh, no, that's... You see, when we had that photo shoot yesterday, there was something.
I wouldn't say I don't appreciate it. I did ask for copies, darling. But would it be possible for you to give me normal-looking ones? Preferably with my head intact. I admire the effort you took to edit this, though. It looks authentic.
Yes, doesn't it though?
Frankly, if I show this to some other person, they'd probably believe those silly rumors about the mansion.
Yes.
Good publicity, but not the kind I'd want for my new home. So please.
She drops them back in my hands like their very surface burned hers.
If you could redo this, that would be wonderful. I'm positive you can do a better job than the one you just showed. Just try to keep the edits to a minimum,
Yeah. I can, sure.
Poor Zach.
You can take your time, of course. And speaking of time, I really must go.
Look at the time. She leaves without so much as a wave. I don't have to take a guess to know I've dismayed her, or in her own words, weirded her out. That's the first time I've seen a head shake. Beside me, Miss McCullough shakes her head. What are the odds I've also ruined my chances with the job she offered earlier? Very high, I'd say. It's a foolish idea in the first place. Well, good. That went, yeah, look at that. At Luxburn City, Zachary and Hannah met with Marianne McCullough. While Marianne was busy, Hannah disclosed her pregnancy and her frustrations to Zach. At the end of their talk, Zachary showed her the photos, which earned the disapproval of both women. Miss McCullough departs shortly after Miss Wright has taken her leave, muttering something about getting a quick lunch before fetching Baruthiel from Chris. I don't know what or who a Baruthiel is. It must be important for her to be in this kind of hurry. And, well, she doesn't seem to be fond of small talks. Something we can both agree on. I'll just go. Ah, so we went to see the priest even though we hadn't gone with Isabella. Interesting. Ever since he was asked by a couple to bless their new home before moving in. This is the first time in days he's left his room. He's probably caught a cold. Probably. Must be what it is. Yes, totally. Doo-doo, I don't want to see ghost girl crawling up my legs. No, no, not me. Okay. Let's see. There's our priest friend. Grand. I'm gonna say silent this time. I opened my mouth to say something, fishing for little words of encouragement or comfort to lighten the mood. But no sound came out despite my efforts. How can I, when my own head is littered with the same thoughts probably plaguing her? It'll be nothing but a half-assed declaration when I've yet to sort myself out. Yet in the end, it is Ash, of all people, who finds them.
We'll find a way. Somehow. I don't know.
Aw, he's trying for her.
This appears to be more complicated than I initially thought, but there has to be some way.
The whole thing sounds unexpectedly optimistic for him. He must have realized it as well, because he averts his eyes as soon as the words are out of his mouth, and Isabella turns to him with a look of surprise in her face. But despite himself, he continues. His tone, careful, hesitant, afraid of saying the wrong thing.
On top of that, we don't have any concrete proof yet. For all we know, it could just be someone clever enough to use those silly legends to cover up for his crimes. I wouldn't put it past whoever that is. He's gone and killed 2 people already. But that's why I want to look into this, whether I have this case or not. I want to see for myself what it is. It's my job to know in the first place.
Then what about...
And even if it is connected in any way, you have me and Zach helping you out. Becca too, I'm sure. She worries most out of anyone. So whatever shit you found yourself in, know you're not alone.
It was kind of nice hearing that from Ash. I approve of this.
Just promise you won't run off anywhere by yourself.
Ash rarely ever lies when it matters. Even if finding the right things to say is difficult for him, his words burn with nothing but a simple truth in them. But Isabella doesn't answer. Instead, she looks to me, eyes wide and searching, hoping to find some sort of affirmation to Ash's words in me. I can only offer her a grin, and what's perhaps the only thing I'm certain of at this moment.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Precisely.
Though I've got to admit, that's the longest I've heard Ash say something.
Nice.
Shut up, Z-Man.
Calling you out.
You ate the whole bag of chips I was saving for the weekend. You're in no position to tell me to shut up.
I was going to replace it.
Sure. Everything after quickly dissolves into our usual banter. But when a small smile spreads across her lips and the tense lines in her shoulders ease, I know we've given her something far more than empty reassurances. They take their leave mere minutes close to sundown. But regardless of the lighter mood, little has been said of their plans. Only vague hints of what they're aiming to do after. While it ain't any of my business to know, something about this whole thing still gnaws at me. A tiny passing thought urges me to do something as well. Okay. So I'm dropping you guys off. And then you're coming to haunt me. And then I'm running away without taking pictures. Alright. Okay, we're caught up. Yeah, who am I kidding? I've already seen the look on her face when I tried before. There are limits to how far a person will believe in you. Then again, I didn't believe Isabella when she warned us. And now I'm here, listening to leaves in the wind. Keep looking for Ash, don't get yourself killed. Okay. I think that'll be the end of Zach's chapter. It is. Okay. I'm pretty close to an hour here, so we'll leave the making out with Luke for next time. We'll just put a pause on that for right now. We'll do that next time.